Arizona Sunshine 2 is a next-gen VR zombie survival game that takes place in the sun-kissed, zombified deserts of post-apocalyptic Arizona. Players take on the role of a survivor who must use all their skills and resources to stay alive against hordes of undead. The game features a single-player campaign as well as co-op multiplayer for up to 4 players. Players will need to explore the world, scavenge for supplies, and craft weapons and tools in order to survive. They will also need to battle their way through hordes of zombies, each with its own unique abilities and behaviors. Arizona Sunshine 2 features a variety of new weapons and gadgets, including dual-wielding pistols, flamethrowers, and grenade launchers. Players will also be able to drive vehicles to explore the world and escape from danger.
Who's a good boy?
Projekt Z is a first-person shooter game set in a post-apocalyptic world where the world has been ravaged by a zombie apocalypse. The player takes on the role of a survivor who must fight their way through hordes of zombies to find a safe place to live. The game features a variety of weapons and gadgets that the player can use to survive, as well as a variety of different types of zombies to fight. The game also features a multiplayer mode where players can team up with other survivors to fight off zombies. The Bornless is a text-based adventure game where the player takes on the role of a character who has been reborn without a soul. The player must travel through a strange and dangerous world in order to find their soul and become whole again. Along the way, they will encounter a variety of interesting characters, both friendly and hostile. The player will also need to solve puzzles and overcome challenges in order to progress. The game is non-linear, meaning that the player can choose their own path and explore the world at their own pace. The Bornless is a challenging but rewarding game that will test the player's intelligence, problem-solving skills, and courage.
So, are you ready to begin? Speak the words.
Blight. Survival is a first-person survival horror game set in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by a deadly blight. The player must scavenge for resources, build shelter, and craft weapons and tools to survive. They must also be wary of the infected, who have become mutated and aggressive. The game features a variety of environments, including forests, cities, and abandoned military bases. The player can also find hidden stashes of supplies and weapons. The game's goal is to survive for as long as possible, and to find a cure for the blight. Infinitum is a first-person psychological horror game. The game is set in a dark and atmospheric world, where players must explore the ruins of a mysterious abbey and uncover its secrets. Players take on the role of Adam, a man who has been drawn to the abbey by a mysterious force. Adam must navigate the abbey's labyrinthine corridors and solve complex puzzles in order to progress. Along the way, he will be hunted by a terrifying creature known only as the Shadow. As Adam delves deeper into the abbey's secrets, he begins to question his own sanity and reality. Ad Infinitum is a game that will stay with you long after you finish playing it. Its dark and atmospheric world, its terrifying creature, and its thought-provoking story will leave you wanting more. In John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, an experiment to harness the power of the Earth's core goes horribly wrong, releasing a terrifying eldritch horror known as the Sludge God. This abomination begins terraforming the area, turning soil to scum and the living into undead monsters. In the face of this apocalypse, the world's governments turn to a team of mercenaries known as the Toxic Commandos. These heavily armed and highly trained soldiers are tasked with stopping the Sludge God and its horde of minions before it's too late. Players can choose from a variety of Toxic Commandos, each with their own unique abilities and playstyles. They can then team up with up to 4 other players and battle their way through hordes of mutated monstrosities, using an arsenal of devastating weapons and special abilities. Isle is a first-person horror game set in a dark and atmospheric world. The player takes on the role of a nameless protagonist who awakens in a strange and abandoned hospital. As they explore the hospital, they uncover a dark and disturbing secret. The hospital is home to a terrifying creature known as the Isle. The Ill is a malevolent entity that preys on the fear and suffering of others. It is relentless in its pursuit of the player and will stop at nothing to consume them. The player must use their wits and cunning to survive the hospital and escape the Ill. They will need to solve puzzles, find hidden items, and manage their resources carefully. If the player is caught by the Ill, they will be subjected to its terrifying attacks. The Ill is a powerful and deadly creature, and the player will need to use all of their skills to defeat it. Kingdom. The Blood is a role-playing game set in a world where the human race has been decimated by a mysterious plague. The player takes on the role of a survivor who must journey through a dangerous and unforgiving world in search of a cure. Along the way, they will encounter a variety of enemies, including infected humans, mutated animals, and even other survivors. The player will need to use all of their skills and cunning to survive and find a way to save humanity. The game is notable for its dark and atmospheric setting, as well as its challenging gameplay. The player will need to carefully manage their resources and make strategic decisions in order to survive. Kingdom. The Blood is not a game for the faint of heart, but it is a rewarding experience for those who are willing to put in the effort. Pine Harbor is a first-person survival horror game set in a small fishing town that has been ravaged by a technological disaster. The player takes on the role of a lone survivor who must explore the town, help other survivors, and uncover the dark secrets of what happened. The game is inspired by classic horror games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and features a dark and atmospheric setting, terrifying creatures, and challenging puzzles. The player must use their wits and resources to survive in this hostile environment, and make difficult choices that will affect the outcome of the story. No More Room in Hell 2 is a first-person survival horror game set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies. The game is a sequel to the 2011 game No More Room in Hell and features improved graphics, gameplay, and content. The game is played from a first-person perspective, and the player must use a variety of weapons and tools to survive against the zombie hordes. The game features a variety of different gameplay modes, including a cooperative campaign mode, a survival mode, and a versus mode. The game also features a variety of different zombie types, each with their own unique abilities.